It's now time to turn things over to our chef for this week's Eat Well, Live Well segment. I understand he has a balanced but not bland breakfast recipe this week. Let's check it out.
Today what we're going to do is take a fresh approach to breakfast, making breakfast quesadillas and throwing some unusual ingredients in there. Some cilantro, some peppers, some rock shrimp, some Spanish hard-style chorizo, some avocado, and some cilantro. So when putting something like this together, factor in about 2 eggs per person, and we've made some scrambled eggs here already. I've just put a little bit of cream in there as well to lighten them up. You don't have to put that in if you don't want to. I've got 2 quesadillas here, and I'm just going to take some of my eggs, scoop them onto the tortilla. I'm going to take a little bit of cheese at this point, and this is a nice Spanish style cheese, a Gran Queso cheese, so it's got a little bit more flavor in it than you might find in a mild cheddar, but I think that's going to work really well because otherwise some of these other ingredients that we have are going to get lost in here. I've got some diced red and yellow peppers, sprinkle those over the top. There we go. I've got some cooked rock shrimp that I'm using here. If you can't find rock shrimp, just use regular shrimp that you're going to find in a store. Cook those off ahead of time, so these are cooked. And then I think the piece that really is going to make this interesting and exciting is this Spanish hard-style chorizo sausage. It's smoked, extremely aromatic, lots of flavor in there. It has a little bit of spice to it as well. I've taken that and just diced that up, little pieces. Again, spread them out nice and evenly. I've got some avocado here as well, and I'm just going to take the avocado and fan a few pieces over the top of the breakfast quesadilla here. There we go. And then we've got some cilantro here. I'm going to carefully take the cilantro, pick some leaves off there. You could, if you like, put some tomatoes in here as well, put some onions in. I'm not going to use the onions today, I'm going to use scallions instead. Just enough for here. At this point now, a little bit of olive oil into a pan. And it's important at this point, use olive oil, don't use butter. You will get a much better texture and finish on the bottom of your quesadilla. They'll be a lot more crisp if you use oil. Lower that into the pan. You can hear it's nice and hot, it's got some sizzle. You're going to take a little bit more of the cheese, put the cheese on top. Turn the heat down to a medium heat at this point. Cover the top of the quesadilla. And you're going to wait probably around 3 to 4 minutes, but keep going back to your pan and checking the quesadilla. What's going to happen is it's going to shrink a little bit in that heat now with that oil, and it's going to start to turn a little bit brown, and it's also going to start to become a little bit more firm on the bottom. Pushing it down at this point, allowing the cheese and all the ingredients in there to get nice and warm and the cheese to melt. I'm going to turn this down to a medium-low temperature at this point. Take my pan and we're going to turn the quesadilla out onto the cutting board that I have over here. It's easier that way to transfer the quesadilla, turn it over, and if you lose any ingredients, you can put them back in again. So there we go. We'll turn it over, put the pan back on. You can see what we have. There's a nice golden brown color. This is easy now to pick up with my hands, transfer back into the pan again, and we'll do the same thing on that side. Rotate the quesadilla, turn it around. You can probably hear now at this point as well, nice and crisp and crackly on here. You won't get that same finish if you're using butter. You can open up the quesadilla at this point. You can see that the cheese is starting to melt. That tells me that the ingredients inside the pan are nice and warm and ready to go. Bring your pan over, turn that out onto your cutting board. Cut that nice crispy quesadilla into little wedges. There we go. We're going to use an oval plate for this, and plate it up in the same way that you would do quesadilla that you would serve to your family at dinner time or that you'd find in your favorite restaurant. You're going to finish this with just a little bit of the avocado again on top. And then we're just going to garnish with some fresh cilantro. Pop some of those over the top of that. There we go. And there you have it. Another very simple dish that you can make for your family. A nice quesadilla with some beautiful cooked eggs, some sausage, and some shrimp.
I love breakfast, and that looks awesome. Thanks, Chef. Now, if you'd like to see this recipe again, you can find it on our show's website, yourlifetv.com. We'll be right back.